Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Coast Files, your podcast for ocean mysteries and true crime. I'm Chantel.
I'm Lindsay.
I'm Megan, and happy National Paranormal Day today, or May 3rd.
So
Of
the day
course
that
it
this
is.
comes out, not the day that we're
Okay.
recording. I always get confused, I can never.
I'm just chronically confused. And when I put like the day in question, I know it's that week, but I don't
Okay.
always mark if it's the day we're recording. So that's
I
great.
like it. You know what? I'm
now
going with it.
that I know it's a thing, obviously we have to celebrate every year.
May 3rd is a Saturday, just FYI.
Oh. And there's a couple graveyards
Yes.
near us. Oh wait, so it's not.
Okay.
So
So
then
it's
me being
coming up
confused checks
on
out.
Saturday. So on Saturday I will watch.
Get ready. If you haven't made plans
Paranormal
already,
movie.
go
Cancel
to your nearest
them.
graveyard.
Exactly.
Cancel them.
You're
Try
doing
to
something
find a
else
dead
now.
person.
Exactly. Try to talk to them.
I mean, with consent if they're not into it. Like,
Yeah.
Right.
Don't
and try to
get
pick a
mixed up.
friendly one.
Make sure you say
Ideally
goodbye.
possible. Yeah.
definitely say goodbye. Okay, so first things first, or I guess second things second. I want to say, thank you to Daniel from Instagram. I don't want to say the last name in case that's too creepy. But he's been a listener for quite some time, and he actually suggested this case in September of 2024.
Okay.
Okay.
Guys, I've had a long day, so I'm so sorry.
2004, I got it. He went back in
Like,
time.
before-
Cool.
Before Instagram was even invented, he was there ready. So anyway, 2024. So he wrote and he said, "Oh, have you heard about this story?" And I thought it was super cool. I looked into it briefly, but we were kind of still getting ourselves organized. Like September, I know we were doing it, but I don't
Getting
think
our sea legs.
get out. So stupid. I love it. So I don't know
Sorry,
if
we'll
it
keep
made
her.
it to the list or not, but we're gonna do it today.
Okay.
So let me set the scene. We're gonna pull a little bit of a Lindsay, and we're gonna go back in time.
Oh, the way
On-
back machine.
Oh, way, way back. On January 2nd, 1815, the weather was likely bitter cold, especially
Mhm.
being on the lake. Maybe it was snowing. Maybe the trees and ground were covered in a layer of ice. We all know how January can be.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever the weather, the soldiers across the channel decided that their need for the lighthouse keeper's German bootleg beer outweighed any uncomfortableness of the dark, cold Toronto night. The lighthouse keeper,
Obviously.
John Paul Radlmuller, had been making his homeland-style beer out of his cabin for years. The soldiers stationed at Fort York Garrison were common customers. What happened that night is unclear, but it ended in one man's death. This is Toronto's oldest cold case and the haunting of the oldest existing building on the Great Lakes. This is the story of the Gibraltar Point Lighthouse.
Ooh.
Ooh.
I feel like I need to throw sand into a fire right now.
Yeah. Canadians will understand that.
Canadians
reference.
totally get it.
Oh,
Can we also just mention how Gibraltar comes up a lot?
yeah. Why do we have one called that? Isn't that like
Yeah.
near Spain?
Yes.
Yeah,
So
it's
it's a
straight up
British
Gibraltar.
colony, and it was named after that area because super strong Gibraltar rock. Nothing in Canada is
It's not
original.
a name. It's a type of rock.
No, like it's because the lighthouse was built on this rocky point, and it was like,
That's
this will
not
be as strong
true.
as Gibraltar.
We have a lot of Canadian,
Not-
like Canada
Not
itself.
counting Indigenous words,
Oh, okay.
obviously.
Okay.
So go to your photos, and we can look at photo 1.
This looks very creepy.
Yes.
The black and white is really
Yeah.
making
This
it
photo
Black and white
is
with like
from-
a sepia feel at the same
It's from
time.
the year 1900.
Oh,
Okay. Yeah, that
Okay.
checks out.
Which is like, I'll get into it, but it's like 100 years after it was built.
This looks really not close to water.
Yeah,
Well,
there's like a
it
little pond
is-
in the foreground.
it
like
is
some
in
marsh.
this
Oh, you're right.
photo.
You're right. You're right there.
Okay, but actually, it's so funny you mentioned that because that does come up later.
Okay.
Sand, you guys. It's weird. Tides
Okay.
and currents and such. Okay.
Yes.
Construction began on the lighthouse in 1808 on Hanlan's Point of the Toronto Islands, which is a cluster
Okay.
of islands in the Toronto harbor, if you don't know. I do
We've
have a
been there.
photo.
Yeah.
Yes. My
Very,
first time was
very
Oh
beautiful.
like that.
yeah. Megan
So-
got COVID there on her first time going.
Right.
Yep.
Which you were in Toronto for like what, 10 years before you decided to go?
Yeah.
Yeah. I got COVID. Is that better than getting E. coli from the lake? I don't know.
I mean,
You probably didn't get it from the lake.
oh no, the
but
lifeguard told us to get
so
out.
we
'cause
went
of...
swimming at this one part, and we were like, I don't understand why no one's in the water, and there was no real like lifeguard anywhere. So we went, and then this lifeguard like rows up to us in their boat and is like, "Hey, there's a coli in the water right now. You should probably get out." We're like, "Oh, okay, awesome."
Yeah.
Um,
Glad there was a
Thanks
sign.
for like having a sign or like a
Although-
megaphone standing on the beach letting everybody know.
If it's Saturday in July and it's beautiful out and there's no one at the water,
Yeah,
That
I
might
know
be your
that was
first-
probably the dead
that might be the
giveaway.
first-
And I mean,
Also,
I was
there
kind of, like,
wasn't
thinking
no
that.
one. There
Oh
just
yeah,
were
you're right.
very
there was
few.
Very few.
Oh,
There
okay.
were. Yeah.
So you're like, private beach. Wow.
Oh, it wasn't private.
no,
the
the beach was
packed.
Oh,
and there was
okay.
like maybe 10 people in the water. So we were like,
Oh,
maybe
yeah.
everyone's just taking a break.
That's fair.
All
Maybe
at
the
the
water's a little
same
cold
time.
today. Put their toes in. They're like,
It actually wasn't. So
No, it
really,
was-
looking
yeah,
back,
that's a
we should have
that's-
known.
We should have known.
But
We
really,
shoulda known.
coming from Nova Scotia, how often do you go to the beach and there's only a few people in the water because it actually is freezing? So
Freezing
it looks
every
beautiful.
time.
Completely fair.
Every
But
single
there might
time
be
I
3
go.
people who are brave enough to go in. So
Vadim was the only smart one that didn't go in, and it wasn't because he thought there was a
Mm.
coli. He just wasn't feeling it. So
Yeah.
Something in his body was like, "Don't do
listen.
it."
Then I looked it up later, and it's like such a rare chance that you. Anyways, we were fine, but Megan got
Also, we're
COVID.
fine. I just had COVID for like the
Yeah.
second time. Okay, so this lighthouse was originally 16 meters high,
Yeah.
52 feet, or 7.4 shacks.
thank you. So much
You're
better.
welcome.
It's a
It
few
ex-
shacks.
It was extended to 25 meters high, 82 feet, or 11.6 shacks.
Okay,
That's a lot of shacks.
that is.
Yeah.
At the base of the lighthouse was the keeper's cottage. The structure no longer exists. It was mostly made of wood, so it's kind of a
Okay.
shame, but the
Hmm.
lighthouse is still there.
Yeah.
And this is where the first Gibraltar lighthouse keeper, John Paul Radamuller, also if I'm not saying that right, I'm sorry, Radamuller. I call him
Mhm,
JP
sounds great.
sometimes. This is where he would live. JP,
Mhm.
as he's known to me right now,
Yeah.
was born
it.
in 1763 in Ansbach, Germany. Don't
Okay.
come for me.
Yeah.
Okay. We will.
Ansbach. And he was serving British royalty for over 20 years as a, essentially a servant, I guess. I said serving, but I don't know if he had a choice in the matter.
Got you.
And then he headed to Halifax, Nova Scotia in 1799.
I think I've heard of
Oh.
it.
Just bringing up like every single time we talk. So he hung up there for a little bit. And then in 1804, he headed to York, which is modern day Toronto. And here he would be appointed the lighthouse keeper in 1809. So he moved 1804. I think they announced that they were going to be building it, but it just took a couple of years for them to actually build it.
Okay.
I read in some articles he actually asked to have a plot of land and build a house, and they straight up said no. So here's where the servant
Okay.
part comes in. I don't think he
Okay.
had much choice in what he did.
Got
So
you.
he became the lighthouse keeper.
Yep.
I'm going to talk about the War of 1812 very briefly. A few years later, in 1812,
There was a war. Okay,
there
done.
was a
Move
war.
on.
Essay finished. So this is a war fought
Great
between
episode.
the United States and Britain, and
Mhm.
also its colonies, which was Canada. This stemmed from maritime disputes, trade restrictions.
Mhm.
Does this sound familiar?
Never.
And American
History doesn't repeat
expansionist ambitions. Like literally, it's like all the same
History
stuff
does
that's
not
happening
repeat
right now.
itself. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Did you
no
not learn
idea.
your lesson? Didn't Canadians burn down the White House? Anyway, in Upper
we
Canada,
did,
Someone
but
tried to say
technically we
that
weren't-
wasn't Canadians at the time.
Because we weren't
Say it again.
technically Canada at the time.
Yeah. So they're like, who was a stupid person that said that? They're so stupid for saying that. How could they say that?
Just because we didn't have a label yet doesn't mean we weren't.
like
right?
we all
Our own
know
place.
that
Yeah.
we
You're grasping
burnt
at
it down.
straws to be
Yes.
right.
Paper straws because of turtles. In Upper Canada, Fort York, which again, that's Toronto, it played a key defensive role in protecting the region from American invasion. In April 1813, American forces attacked and captured Fort York, which I did know because our school system also failed us, destroying parts, but ultimately they withdrew. leaving the area to be reclaimed by the British. Nearby, the
So they didn't
Gibraltar
want
Point
it?
Lighthouse. No, I think that we kicked them out is what I'm getting from this.
Okay. Yeah.
That the British
we
were
showed
like,
them.
Yeah.
yeah, right. I could read a book, but this is all that I wrote down. So the Gibraltar Point Lighthouse stood as a key navigational aid on Lake Ontario. During the war, it would have been a very familiar landmark for both British and American ships and was part of a broader coastal defense landscape of the region. Soldiers stationed at Fort York could walk to the lighthouse in under an hour.
Okay.
Keep that in
Oh.
mind.
Okay.
Picture 2 is a screenshot from Google Maps, and I added in 2 little hand-drawn arrows just to show you where Fort York is and then where the lighthouse is.
I just
Fort
can't
York has some
believe
fun
I
concerts.
didn't make like a point of visiting it. You know, like we've been to the islands, but I don't know if
Well,
I
Yeah.
made
I
a
mean, I actually didn't even know that Toronto Islands existed until Chantel was like, "Hey, you want to go?" I'm like, "Oh, is that the thing I
Well,
keep
Hey,
hearing
you want to
about?"
go get a coli?
I knew about it from the moment I went to Toronto because that's where I landed. Because
Yes,
Porter has
Porter.
the
Yeah.
airport on the island, so I always see them.
There's also so much more history too
Mhm.
about this area. So I don't know. Okay, this could be not completely right, but where Billy Bishop Airport is, there used to be a baseball stadium.
Oh,
And Babe Ruth shot oh god, sports. Babe Ruth hit one of
Hit?
his first home runs there when he was like 19.
oh wow,
Hmm.
that's really cool.
So
So I land on
somebody fact
history
checked
every
us
time
on
I
that.
every time I fly into
Chantel,
Toronto.
at least some of the words in that sentence was true. So can't guarantee the order of it or
Like Babe Ruth.
any authenticity,
Um,
but those words, it all makes sense.
Yes.
So let's talk about what happened back on that cold January night. 2 or 3, that is disputed, Irish soldiers from the Glengarry Light Infantry station at Fort York banged on the door of Rattlemuller in hope of purchasing his homebrew. This was a fairly common occurrence. JP was well known and very well liked in York as he sold his beer and whiskey all over town. So, people knew, go to the lighthouse.
Mhm.
He also made whiskey, but I think beer was like his, specialty, I
Forte?
suppose. His
Mm.
forte. The soldiers would often visit him to buy beer, but tonight things went awry, and there's really no information.
And it went awry?
Went awry? What?
Awry with the whiskey?
Awry.
Oh, Jesus Christ. That went right over my head. I think I have rye over here somewhere. Okay. Are
Wait, was
you
it
drinking,
whiskey
by the
too,
way?
or is it beer?
Me? I'm not drinking.
Because I just like the puns are really gold, and I thought maybe
Yeah.
there was some
I'm
like
just doing my nails over
inspiration.
here.
So beer was his
Mhm.
specialty, but he did make whiskey. I read that, but in almost
Okay.
every story, beer was like the main
The
tool
thing.
of his trade.
Yeah.
Mm.
And also, can you like make beer when you're at your job? I know that you're not on lighthouse duty 24/7, but imagine being at work and you're also doing like your Etsy business. Like I feel like that's not okay.
Yeah, but
I
he has to have
mean,
some off time. He can't be
Yeah.
Yeah, I
on
suppose.
It's
24/7.
like when you literally just like put it in a thing and let it sit and do its thing,
Right.
and then
Oh,
you
you
bottle
It's a
it.
explained
lot
it
of
so well.
waiting.
Thank you.
So.
Listen, I don't know
It's
the
a lot of
exact science behind it,
fermentation.
but yeah,
Yeah.
it's not like you have to be over it 24/7. You're
Yeah.
checking.
So you mix it
things.
up.
It's not a
and you leave
baby.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
It was his baby, okay?
Yeah.
Okay. So
Beer, whiskey,
this is
rye.
what they think happened. The common thought is that the soldiers may have already had too much to drink when they arrived at JP's door and were going ham, banging like crazy. JP may have refused them entry to his cottage. Things maybe got aggressive. So that's kind of all you know is that they arrived, and then what actually happened to have the rest of the events transpire, no one knows. The soldiers were later identified as John Henry and John Bloomin, both from Ireland. And like, we love the Irish. Like,
Yeah.
so, please take no offense. The story goes that Rattlemuller gently refused their demand for beer. He may have been out. They may have been too drunk for him to really handle.
It's a lot
And
of
the
Johns
story-
happening. Just
Like,
saying.
You know what? But this is why a lot of men go by their last name, because they're all
Mhm.
called Mike or Matthew.
Right. I'm glad you went with JP because,
Yeah.
The John
Oh
counts.
my God,
really.
his name is John too, and that just clicked for me.
Everyone's
Everyone's
John.
But both the soldiers are John, and so I was
Yeah.
focused on the soldiers being called
I mean,
John.
I'm not going to forget the names this time because
Yeah.
I'm keeping it
Radamüller.
easy.
They're all
But-
Johns.
Yeah.
And they don't really factor into the rest of the story anyway.
Okay.
Okay, sorry. I have not had anything to drink. I have no substances. I don't know what. I think I'm just really tired. So the story goes that Radamüller gently refused their demand for beer, and as he attempted to close the door, this only infuriated them further. One soldier threw a piece of firewood at his head, while the
Jesus.
others
Rude.
beat him with their heavy belts until the lighthouse keeper was dead.
Okay.
What?
Oh my god.
Oh my God, that's brutal.
Yes. It gets, like, of course, so much worse.
That would have
Not,
taken
not
a
more
lot. Like,
gruesome.
I mean, being hit with a belt, I imagine, would really hurt.
And
but-
they're
yeah.
soldiers, so maybe they have, like, batons or I don't know.
I'm just saying it would take a while to kill someone that way.
I'm thinking the wood probably did most of the damage.
Well, the wood
To
could have
start.
definitely incapacitated him, and
Maybe,
he wasn't
depending on how
like
big it
he wasn't an
was.
old man.
Yeah.
You know,
I mean,
the lighthouse
shit.
keeper. So
Yeah,
the legend
that's
goes that
right, though.
Radamüller's body was dragged up the steps of the lighthouse, thrown over the side, and then further cut into pieces to hide the murder.
Jesus. Cut into pieces?
That's like overkill.
yeah,
big time.
that's when you get into that.
Literally.
That's not a. I don't know. You're messed up.
This is no longer a crime of passion. This is
Rage.
it's
Yeah.
that goes into a different
Over beer.
yeah.
How
Lack
good is
of
this
beer.
beer?
It must have
Yeah.
been fucking amazing.
Well, and now they'll never get any more except for that last batch. Like, what were they thinking? If it was
I
that
just
good?
realized that I didn't put the photos in, but I found a video on this, and sadly the brewery no longer exists. But the brewery was local in Toronto, which if you haven't been, there's like 1,000 microbrews around here, and so this place no longer exists. But
Mm.
they had an amber ale called the Gibraltar Haunted Lighthouse something, but named after this lighthouse, and it was the same style
Oh.
of beer that
What-
JP would have brewed.
What brewery
Okay.
did this?
Well, they're gone, but I will find.
Yeah.
I have all the photos.
Mhm.
Like long something. I'll
I'm
share
just wondering.
them.
I mean, I've worked in plenty of restaurants. I'm just wondering if I've ever
Well,
come
listen,
across
my
it.
keyboard is so loud, so I can't find it right now.
That's
But
okay,
I
we
will
can
find
find
it
it
for you and I'll
later.
drop it.
I
Yeah.
think-
Yeah.
So now this is all what they think happened, but what they know for sure is that John Paul Radamüller was killed, but never seen again. They never found his body.
So how do they know he was
Oh,
cut up
wow.
into pieces?
Blood everywhere. And also there was
Could that-
arrests. Just
Okay. Okay.
I know.
Did they maybe
I'll let you get there.
confess later?
well,
We'll get to it.
this
Ish.
quote is from the York Gazette from January 14th, 1815. And I really want to do like a 1940s newspaper voice, but that's not how they would talk. No one had a transatlantic accent back then, so I'll just say it straight.
Okay.
Died on the evening of 2nd of January, J.P. Radmüller, keeper of the lighthouse on Gibraltar Point. That's not a great sentence, paper guy. From the circumstances, there is moral proof of his having been murdered. If the horrid crime admits of aggravation when the inoffensive and benevolent character of the unfortunate sufferer are considered, his murderer will be pronounced most barbarous and inhumane. Actually, it's inhuman because there's no E. English.
Okay.
Maybe
The
that's how you
parties
said it
love
back
One
then.
Yeah.
The parties lost with him are the proposed perpetrators and are in prison. In English, that means that they have arrested the two people who they believe murdered JP.
I got it.
Makes sense.
So the perpetrators were put on trial and later acquitted.
Oh.
I have to think it's hashtag no body, no crime.
Yeah,
Mhm,
'cause
that's fair.
No body,
But
no
I'm sure even back
crime.
then, like, it was a lot harder to make your case. Plus, evidence wasn't what it is today.
Well, I mean,
It
we've
wasn't
all
more
seen Murdoch
recently, too,
mysteries.
that-
If we haven't, then
I don't know when the first case was tried without a body, but I feel like it was more recent.
Lindsay, first of all, write that down because you'll have to cover that as long as there's water.
When the
If there's
first,
a sink,
hopefully,
A sink.
if there's a sink, cover it. So many, many years later, so this takes place in 1815. So now we're in 1893. The
Okay.
Gibraltar Lighthouse was manned by George Durnan and also his father, which is kind of cute. They were like a duo.
Mhm.
Um, And he was fascinated with the tale of Rademuller, and he would actually search the surrounding property just to look for evidence, look for remains, because, I mean, at that point, it was still like 80 years old, like, but it was like almost a legend then at that point.
Mhm.
And he would actually make a grisly discovery. He would find part of a human jawbone and fragments of a coffin.
Oh, of a
Okay.
coffin.
Of a
What?
coffin.
Weird.
So
Very
they
weird.
went to the trouble to get him a coffin?
They got him a
but they're
coffin? Yeah.
And there's no, well, I mean, it wasn't the two guys that killed him, but like,
Oh, okay.
and also, if there's no body, how is there a coffin?
Yeah.
Did they
and
find a body? There's a
jawbone.
jawbone. Now they don't know if that is JP. Like, how would you be able to prove
I
that?
guess
I
unless
mean,
we
if
had
you
like
kept the
DNA and
remains and had something
family
else of
members.
his and you just waited for like a couple hundred years, like, yeah.
If it happened to have the gold tooth that everybody knew him to have, because I
Right.
assume he
Is
had a
his
gold
dentist
tooth.
on site? Like,
So none of those things have happened, but it's generally accepted that that's his
I
jawbone.
hate when people don't
Because-
think ahead to get
Yeah.
this evidence, store it.
A head, get it?
Oh,
Jawbone, a head. Sorry,
Yeah,
Chantel's is better.
yeah.
we will likely never know the truth of what happened that night, but there is still an eerie stillness that clings to the lighthouse, and it's said to be haunted to this day. We have picture 3, 4, and 5. These are the amazing plaques that you can find
Well,
at the
we
entrance to the
are
Gibraltar Lighthouse.
100% going here next time I'm in town.
Yeah.
Lindsay,
Do not go without me.
because I already did, and I ghost hunted.
What?
That's
These
your
are
surprise?
my photos.
When did you do that?
You
I'll
ghost
tell
hunted
you.
without us?
I ghost hunted.
How?
I ghost hunted
I
alone
Live here.
because I
Yeah,
wanted to surprise
I'm not as mad
you.
as Chantel, but
Hey, we're gonna go back because you know how awkward it is
Wow.
to talk to Ghost App when you're by yourself and people are around sightseeing. I was like, "Are there spirits here?" And there's like kids on bikes, and I'm like, "Oh, I'm totally normal, guys. I promise."
No, you're not.
No, sorry. I said it as
Lying.
soon as I said it. I knew that it wasn't real. So let me talk a little bit about the paranormal elements of the story, since it is, well, not today, as we've clarified. National Paranormal Day is this weekend.
Yes.
Mhm.
We're gonna speak to a current lighthouse keeper. The word current is used very lightly here. Manuel Capel is the, like I said, current lighthouse keeper, and he has held this position since 1999, which is like, that seems so long ago.
Gonna pop it like a
Now, are you doing Prince or are you doing Will Smith from the movie Wild Wild
Prince.
West? Okay. That makes sense. This is a volunteer position which consists of turning off and on the light. That seems pretty easy.
Mhm.
Checking on the building and generally just keeping an eye on things.
So
So
it's
it's
quite
not
the
automatic?
volunteer job to get all the way there.
I mean,
Does he
maybe
live in one of
he's
the little
super
houses
cool and
there?
lives on the island. Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe.
And he didn't
Inherited
give
one
his
of those
home
houses
address.
that, there's like 100-year wait list to get one of those houses.
Oh, let's get
and-
on it. Between the three of us, one of us is bound to live that long.
Right.
That's fair. And if not, we can just give it to Lindsay's children.
Yes.
Yes.
Or
One day they'll
our
they'll inherit
cats.
it. They're like, yeah, we don't want this house.
Yeah.
You
the
must live
islands
there.
don't exist anymore in Toronto. It's like the last house that's there.
Yeah, they're
those
like
islands
flooded
are
by them.
not doing
Who
well.
I was going to say, yeah, likely it's all underwater. So Manuel says this. This is purely a labor of love. I see it as mindy an important and often forgotten page of Canada's history. The lighthouse is aesthetically and architecturally beautiful. During the day, she's serene and welcoming, but at night, she can be downright creepy.
Tell me more.
Also, how old is this guy?
Again, he didn't give his address or his age.
Well, what's his social insurance
How are
number?
you supposed to
Oh,
track
that I
him?
have. I mean, he's probably old.
Yeah, I'm just wondering because if
Probably.
somebody who is more of like into like, oh, I want to preserve these things. I just always, well, they're either Lindsay or they're old, one or the other.
But not both.
I see Lindsay being into the natural
I had
history
you
of
on
things,
board with
preserving it.
preserving the SS United
Yeah.
States last week.
Oh,
yeah.
I'm
Oh, that's
still
true, that's
really
true.
torn up
Yeah.
over that story.
Yeah.
As the story goes, some human remains were found near the lighthouse. They're believed to be Rademullers. But the island was also used as an ancient indigenous burial ground.
Oh, perfect.
okay. Well, now, yeah.
Get your other bingo card ready.
Yeah,
You have
right?
your serial killer bingo card. Get your haunted location card ready. There are many stories of hearing thumps and banging coming from inside the unmanned lighthouse. When the lighthouse is rarely open for tours. When I went there, it was closed.
Mm.
And back when it housed the former keepers, because again, that cottage existed and people would live next door to it. There were strange echoes, the clicking of heels climbing the stairs, and orbs of light spotted in the nearby trees.
Ooh.
Near the structure, an ethereal mist has not only been seen, but photographed. Now, I
Hmm.
couldn't find any of those photographs, so that's why
You
I
try to
went
take your
myself.
own. Right.
I did. There was no mist. There were midges, though. I scooped them out of
Yes.
my every
So
orifice.
it's oh my god, that time of year is hitting us.
So check out picture six and
matter.
7. Those are ones that I took
Oh,
myself.
it's very pretty.
It is
Oh,
very
I'm going to
pretty.
read this little plaque, by the way.
Yeah, there's a lot of words on the plaque. Kind of
Yeah.
tells a story
Yeah.
that I
I'm
just
going to read in my
read
head to
you.
keep everyone. You'll.
Oh, okay.
No one will see the picture unless you.
Oh yeah,
You want to read it.
I'm gonna post, and then obviously if someone wants to really read it, I mean I can even send it through Instagram. So just message me.
Yes.
Yep.
So
Or
using
go to our website.
oh
We need
yeah, we have a
traffic.
website.
Go to our website.
Yes,
Go to
you
the
have to
website, too.
visit if you want to see it.
If if you're interested too, I can try to send the videos that I took because I took some creepy ones, but we're gonna post those probably on YouTube. I think they're too long for Instagram. So
Okay.
using the Ghost app, which I mean I'm sure has already stolen all of my data because
course it
that's what
has.
these apps do. I walked around the lighthouse and I asked a couple questions and I got some interesting responses. So we will go back. Let's just say I'm very thankful I went on a beautiful Sunday afternoon because if it were
Yes.
even dusk, I'd be pissing my pants.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, this looks very
Uh,
beautiful.
and it does. And it's such an
Did you
incredibly
go
built
alone?
lighthouse. Yeah.
Your husband didn't go with
Wow.
you?
Damien threw his back out. So he's on the couch.
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
man.
He's only now starting to feel better after
I was
like
gonna
Oh.
say,
8 days.
no way am I going on a haunted walk solo. But I
It
guess
would be
it is
more
daytime.
fun if I were with people, but I had like murder podcasts in my ears and then I was taking ghost videos,
I
so I felt
know.
very in my element.
That's literally
Minus
Eric's only
choking on bitches.
downside because he doesn't like this type of thing,
Mhm.
and I
Hey,
really
but
want him to.
you guys could have rented bikes and he's like doing his own
He
thing
does.
and you're
You
hunting
think
for
Eric's
ghosts.
gonna rent a bike with me?
He puts on his
not
favorite sneakers that he's okay to get dirty and you walk.
favorite and get dirty or just not. No, I have to rethink this
yeah.
whole thing. I have to
Okay.
give him I have to be like, there's like a bar here. You
There's
can get a
actually
drink.
tacos and taquitos at the
Yeah.
end of the path, but we have to
Yes.
walk past the lighthouse.
It's just a good thing I
first.
have you guys as my besties because then
Yes,
I can
and,
do
and
it.
trust me, like Chantel,
works.
I wanted you to come, but I also wanted to surprise you guys.
I get it. I'm really a
so-
It's
little
okay,
sad.
Chantel. You and I can go on a special ghost
Yeah.
walk, just us. Just kidding,
And
Megan.
we'll
You can come
watch
too.
the sunset
Hey.
from the island afterwards.
I did
It'd
it
be
for
so
you
romantic.
guys.
I'm gonna put my hand on her butt, and we're gonna have so much fun.
There we go. It's okay, Megan. We'll invite you.
Yeah, last minute
Just
we'll
no
change
butt
our mind.
touching.
I'm gonna start my own podcast with blackjack and hookers. Okay, so I spent some time trying to learn how to edit, and it is hard but fun when it works out. So
Mhm.
I will post those videos on, like I said, Instagram if it'll hold it, but definitely on YouTube because one is kind of long. The lighthouse itself is very, very beautiful, and it definitely has a weird, like
Aura?
not to be cheesy, yeah, a weird
Okay.
aura, like not dangerous but ominous. Like I don't
Okay.
know, I don't know how else to describe it. Kind of weird, like
Mhm.
looming.
Yeah,
I mean,
looming
it
is
is
a good
tall.
word.
Mm-hmm.
Looming.
Even though it is
This-
sunny, it does still have that effect. So I can
Oh, it
totally
was-
see how
was
nighttime would
creepy.
be terrifying.
And also this is insane. This is a 217-year-old lighthouse. Like think about that.
Wow.
It's been loved and cared for by the community for a very long time, and I hope it continues that way. And in my experience, as for the ghosts, if JP is there, his spirit didn't seem angry, maybe kind of shy. And perhaps he's still there to kind of look over the place because I definitely encountered some, ghost app lingo. So if you go to the photo album, hold on, I just casually closed all of the windows. You know how I like to do that. So check on the last two. So the first little video that I have is me getting to the island, and it has no wait, look at the one that is 36 seconds. Do you see?
Okay, wait,
It has like the
Still
black
loading.
film.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so
Okay.
not the beach one, the black
Got it.
one. Okay, so watch that.
Oh. I love this song. Ooh, clothing optional.
Oh yeah, that's the best age.
I love it.
I had a nice little Sunday afternoon to myself.
Yeah.
That's
You
so
know.
cool. I'm gonna have to do one when I go to Nova Scotia because I have a case similar to you. I'm gonna be on site researching.
I can't wait. So now, and again, what we can do for the audio section of the podcast is that I can maybe give you the videos and you can rip the audio from it. But again, you can't even really do that because within the app, it will say the words and you can hear it, but the audio from the app does not go onto the camera. Like the video is just your outside audio.
Yeah,
We'll figure it out, I'm sure.
yeah.
They'll be
We
able
can
to
find
get
a way.
stuff for, yeah.
Okay,
Right.
so
Worst case, you just
now-
go to our Instagram. You also follow us,
Mhm.
Instagram,
and you see it there.
YouTube for sure. Okay, and now you can watch the beach one.
So the first one?
I'm gonna watch it too.
One, 2, 3, play. And the little sounds of your feet underneath that makes it that much creepier.
Trying to read so fast.
You can pause it.
Next.
Okay.
I couldn't pause it because I'm watching at the same time as Chantal. Is there anyone here?
Is JP here?
JP.
Is there anything in the woods here?
Are you afraid?
Well, I wasn't until just now. And I'm whispering because there's people all around me.
Yeah. It's warm. Pause to read.
Wonder if the red door is original. I was curious.
It is a
It
nice
would have been really
door.
creepy if it was like, it is.
I know.
Red.
I love red, like blood.
apparently
How I
murdered
died.
here January 2nd, 1815. What they know for sure is that he was disappeared somehow.
It was definitely
They never
murder.
actually found his body, although they did find a jawbone. The father-son team that ended up taking over found bones on the property, and there used to be a cottage, which is now no longer here. This also used to be near the water, and the water is now way over here on the other side.
Goodbye.
Oh, okay, well, time to
Oh.
go. Hello, is anyone there? That was so creepy when it said that. Are there any spirits on this island? I must assume like a crazy person.
Have you been in Toronto before?
Yeah,
That's fair.
we're
Maybe
fine.
I saw so many like addicts on the street today. So,
Yeah.
so that's my little micro ghost hunting video.
Hmm. Yeah, I like
I
it.
love
So
it.
that's how far the water was, where you walked to afterwards.
So it used to be. Oh, I have the calculation somewhere, but over time the sand has built up, and it's now 300 yards away from the shore.
Okay.
Okay.
So it was
So
not
it's
the
like-
case at the time.
So yeah, so the lighthouse is not moving. The island is changing, which is
Mhm.
somehow creepier.
So was it for ships coming into the like middle point or coming
Yeah.
from like the outer part of the lake?
I mean, well, for both,
For
obviously
both?
the way the islands are, it's very, very narrow. So essentially, it was to
Yeah.
get you safely to the group, and then
Okay.
I guess at that point you would know, okay, now I go around this way or that way. But
Yeah.
it was just used to mark like where Toronto Harbor kind of
Yeah.
started.
Hmm.
Um, and that is the case. I tried to find like more personal experiences, and I couldn't find any. There are some great
Probably because
trip.
everyone's not, you know, around from that time.
What,
And all
Lindsay? They're
the-
all dead. All these people
I
are
know.
dead, Lindsay. They're all
That's
dead.
right.
It was
I didn't want to
only
say it.
over
But, you know.
100 years ago.
Not saying like
217.
someone couldn't experience something recent, but you just went around there with your. Maybe you have to go back at night with a ghost tube by yourself, Megan.
We will look up the ferry schedule because it was incredibly easy to get there. Like,
Yeah,
so if
no,
you,
in the summertime, the ferry schedule goes longer, so you definitely be able to get there at nighttime. But I do find that interesting if it's kind of like known to be haunted and you can't really find things online. There's got to be Reddit, everything. Like you
I
can.
looked on Reddit and it's
Yeah.
Oh my
just like, look at this
God.
lighthouse. It's haunted. I'm like, but
But
how?
how? But
Hmm.
why?
But
Hmm.
for how? What?
Yes.
So yeah, being there in person during the day, it wasn't scary by any means, but it just was
Right.
a weird vibe. I think one of the things that is the most creepy part about it's like what Chantel said, is that it's not even near the water. So it's very unnatural to see a
Yeah,
lighthouse
it feels
not in
out
the
of
middle of the
place.
woods, but far away from any shore. And
Definitely
also,
feels out of place. Yeah.
yeah, so it's just kind of like unnerving. But in general, it just had a kind of like a little bit of a sentient vibe. Like it
Mm.
didn't feel dead. Didn't feel like a
Right.
dead lighthouse. It felt like there's energy at that lighthouse. And as per my ghost hunting, something was there. And it wasn't mean. It was just like, are you afraid?
Yeah.
It's warm out. I'm like, it is
Yeah,
warm.
it's sunny, so
Bye.
no.
I don't want you here anymore.
Oh, something else too. So when you have the app, which again, if you download it, it's at your own risk. They're probably stealing your identity as you download.
For
But
sure.
you can use the app and just look at the app and it talks the same way. If it picks up certain energies, it'll say the words. And or you can hit record. So
Mm-hmm.
you don't have to, well, you can actually capture, like, so that's what I
Mhm.
did. But before
Yeah.
I hit record, I kind of panned over and it shows the Sky Dome and the CN Tower, and it literally said the six.
What? Weird.
Oh.
And I'm like, God damn it. So then I hit
So
record and then it catches like, it's warm. And then it said it's warm a little bit later too.
Oh my God.
Okay.
Okay, that is weird.
Kind of cool, right?
yeah, but that makes me think it's a more recent spirit.
Yeah, Drake's spirit was somewhere.
Yeah.
Or maybe JP had a bunch of like drunk college kids around him. And
Yeah.
he's like, what
Yeah.
is the
He
six?
picked up the lingo.
He's like,
The
why?
six,
Why do
it
they
means
call
the houses, the village.
Yes. Why do they refer to my village as the Six? Please tell
Again,
me,
guys,
young ghost
heritage
hunter.
minutes.
By the way, I don't know if we said the app is GhostTube.
Well,
It's
it was
called
in the
Ghost Tube,
video.
Ghost app.
Ghost Tube.
Fair.
It was in your video,
It's
Megan.
called
You
it's
put-
called Ghost Tube.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's my ghost app, but it's called Ghost Tube. And yes,
It's
Lindsay, you're right.
Megan's.
It
It's
puts a
nobody else's.
watermark.
Nobody
on
else is
it.
allowed to
Yeah.
use it.
I created it. I'm the founder.
Oh, yeah.
I'm rich now.
I simply just did a little algorithm and a little bit of coding,
In her spare
you
time.
know,
Whipped it
Just
up.
little
picking up
end-
voices around you. Won't
a little
lie.
end bracket, and before you knew it, I was able to talk with ghosts. So that is definitely not
TM.
the first time I'm going to do a little ghost hunt. It was super fun, even though nothing happened. I
Mhm.
felt exhilarated, so I'm going to do it again. And
Yeah.
I'll invite Chantel,
Megan has
lest
a
I be
new
killed.
Profession.
No,
Yeah,
you do
will
not
definitely
invite
be murdered.
Chantal unless I'm present. Don't even think about it. That's
so
right.
that I was right to go alone.
Exactly.
God,
You
I
did
can't
a good
win
thing.
with
Don't
you
hold a
women.
grudge.
Otherwise, you give me at least a few weeks.
I
notice.
feel both
I
at
book a
the same
flight,
time.
I book a
Yeah.
flight. I come up.
Include me, but don't go. Anyway,
I mean,
okay.
It's not that crazy for me to come up for a weekend. You're like an
That's fair.
hour and a half.
To ghost hunt.
And we have so many places to check out.
That's
Like Toronto's not
priority.
even that old, but it's older.
Yeah, but
Although
we know what happens when we try to do that is
Yeah.
that we plan a weekend and then we just end up staying at the apartment playing a
Well,
game.
Who
And
knows?
watching
My new
background
place
magic.
could be haunted.
Oh, you're
So
right.
we gotta
It's
check it
old
out.
enough.
God willing,
Yeah.
I'll bring. I will bring the Ouija board that you gave me for my wedding.
Oh, you're not allowed to
Yeah.
bring that. Eric will freak out. But we can.
Yes,
We
you have
can.
to
Never
know.
We can figure it out. We can bring ghosts too.
Can we bring it to the roof? What if it doesn't come in the apartment? We just bring it to the roof or something.
You leave it outside the door at night.
Yeah. Yeah. Just be
Not
like,
like
Megan's
prize
bag has to
possession.
stay outside. Don't ask questions.
May
Can you imagine Eric goes to touch my bag. Why is your bag burning hot?
Well, actually,
I don't-
outside
Oh.
our little floor area is only shared by one other unit. I can just be like, tell my neighbor, hey, don't steal our Ouija board, and they probably won't.
Yeah.
So
Probably.
It's super
That's
cursed.
probably like super bad to steal someone's Ouija board, actually. I can't think of a worse thing
I don't
to
think.
steal.
I don't.
I
think they
literally
would.
can't think of anything worse
Worse.
than to steal
Steal
a Ouija board.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you want to be cursed, I mean, if you don't want to be cursed other than karma, but
If
Right.
you want to be cursed, I mean,
go for it.
I don't know what to tell you.
Well,
Exactly.
So
never say
listen,
goodbye and light it on fire. I don't know.
So now I don't know how popular this app is. I know that I've seen some like YouTubers use it. So if you download it, you choose to, let me know if anything happens. I'm super curious. I've had full-on conversations in this apartment, which has never felt bad at all. But my ghost is way more saucy than JP. JP was like, "It's warm out. Are you okay? Are you afraid? Bye." And this one was like, I forget what it said, but it was kind of mean.
yeah,
I think I've only
it
had
just
like one.
wanted you to leave.
One message ever, but to be fair, I haven't used it much.
I got it and then I deleted it, and I don't remember why I deleted it.
I'm
So I'll
gonna
just
put it
get
on right
again.
now.
I think
Let me
mine
just
was
see.
saying some stuff, and I was
says
just like, I'm
log
okay.
in. Oh. Yeah, mine said one thing. It wasn't scary, but it was weird. And I just thought I was going to get more because I live in an old building right now. So
Okay, so
I'm
I am
like, so
recording right
nothing
now.
happened here? Okay.
So, hi, we're recording. Is there a ghost in my apartment?
Shut up, bitch. No.
It says I'm leaving.
Oh,
Well,
we've
you
been
can
dis-
stay if you want to
Wait.
stay.
If you're good. If you're cool.
Are you a nice spirit? Are you a kind spirit? Maybe
It's
you
gone.
actually left.
It
Yeah, look
just-
look.
it was like,
You
I'm
can-
done with your
Yeah,
shit,
like, no, I
woman.
actually am gone. So
No, I follow through with what I say. Yeah.
Okay, well,
you,
I mean,
you upset your ghosty. You
it's
called
gone.
it saucy, and it was like, I'm leaving.
yeah.
Yeah, and it's counting down, and no more response. I think it's gone. Let's just make sure. Okay, it's
Okay.
gone.
Okay.
Well,
There you go.
Nice talking to
it
you.
left. It left, you guys. So
I guess
if it's gonna
that's it.
leave, I think it's time that we also leave. So
Yeah.
that was kind of a more casual
I like it.
episode. Hope you guys liked it.
Is
I
it good
did.
for a
And
Thursday evening?
if you
Yeah.
want us to take the Ghost Tube app out for some more spins, let us know. There's a pet cemetery nearby that Chantal and I have frequented.
Oh yes, yes.
Frequented
That we frequent.
Oh.
that we go to.
And that's it.
Why
That's
are you
all.
guys still
I-
listening?
I'll go to the
Clearly, we're done.
There's a big graveyard here that is actually very beautiful. So I can go
Girls
check
trip.
it out.
Ooh.
Ghost trip.
Oh,
Yeah, obviously you
hey!
should come.
Ghost Tube called me old.
Wow.
You're right. She is saucy.
Bad.
I mean,
Seven's not old.
Wait, how old are you? That's what I'd ask.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe it's a young ghost.
Maybe.
Well, it said old, not like how old. It said old. You know what? I
Yeah.
told you this ghost is spicy.
Maybe
Anyway.
they're
I feel
talking
like I'm-
about themselves.
Lindsay, why are you trying to
'Cause-
stand for this ghost? Are you the ghost?
I'm trying to make you feel better. Maybe the ghost was talking about themselves being old.
I'm cool
Because
I'm cool with
37
my
is
age.
just not old.
It-
Yeah.
So young.
correct. Okay, now
Really
it's said the
depends
word
who you
forever. Okay,
You're
I'm
old
gonna
forever.
go because
Okay.
I have something happening here. Something's
you
going
have
down.
a bone
to pick
I
with
need
a
to
ghost.
address.
Okay. Well, I love you all.
I love you all too, and I love this ghost.
Talk
Super nice
soon.
ghost. Don't haunt
So
me.
beautiful. Not
Don't
saucy
haunt our
at all.
old lady, ghost.
Yeah.
Hey, go haunt Lindsay. Okay, guys.
Okay.
Love you. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you for listening today. We loved having you. If you liked the episode, share with your friends, family, or anyone who would enjoy it. Also, take a moment to review our podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or YouTube. Leaving us a like or comment really helps. If you'd like to buy us a coffee, please please visit our coffee page at www.ko-fi.com/coastfiles. Email us at coastfilespod@gmail.com, follow us on Instagram at coastfilespod, or visit our website at www.coastfiles.com. You can find the sources for today's episode on our website. See you next week with a new episode.